The Sciforror Film Podcast. Hello and welcome back to the Sci-Forror Film Podcast. I'm Andy Walker and I'm joined, and I'll be regularly joined by my friend Badger. Hello, Badger.
Hello, and it's great to be here again. And yes, that's top secret news that you've just revealed, Andy, that I'll be on the podcast a lot more coming up this year. Can't wait.
Absolutely. You will be a permanent co-host. So this year we have a few different things. The Romford Horror Film Festival is coming up in a couple of weeks' time, and I have already secured some interviews with a number of different people, not just actors and filmmakers, but actually some other people involved in the periphery of films, as it were, including some effects artists and makeup artists, and a particular favourite of mine, one person I've interviewed for the show, a friend of mine called Graham Humphreys, who anyone out there will possibly know because he is a big name in film poster making. He was a guy who was very heavily involved in the posters for The Evil Dead when it first came out, and so he's been around a while and done quite a lot of stuff, so it was great talking to him. I met him a few years ago at an underground film club in Russell Square in London, and we got on really well, and I've sort of kept in touch ever since, so that was good. We have some films to be reviewed this season that have been asked for by people who've contacted me, short films and features. So we'll be going through those at some point. And yeah, that's it. So how are you doing, Badger? How's everything going?
Not too bad. Ballamoron 2, my own feature film, is coming along nicely. We're in the stages of the end game. So that's going to be fantastic. I've been told, see, I'm not editing it, or, I'm producing it, and obviously I filmed it, but I'm not editing it. So yeah. I've been told that this one is going to take a Blair Witch style twist. Okay. So, the editing is going to be very interesting. So I'm looking forward to that. I've not seen the final product. So
it's quite interesting when you've filmed stuff and you know what the idea is, but you've given it to somebody else and they give you back this thing that you kind of look at and go, what's going to go on here?
Yeah, exactly. I've no idea. And as you know, Andy, anything can happen.
Absolutely.
With Brawling Badger Productions. I've invested in some light. I've got some new lighting, and I've got a proper green screen. So that just means all hell's going to break loose.
anything can happen.
Yeah, and on another bit of an update for myself, I am going to be doing a second channel where it's just about wrestling and stuff. Cool. But I'll probably invest in your time at some point so we can we can review some wrestling films together.
Yeah, definitely. I must admit, I haven't been watching the wrestling much for it recently, but I used to watch it back in the day.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I remember we had a dish outside our house, and we were watching things like the Ultimate Warrior and Hacksaw Jim Duggan and people like that.
yeah. I just think it'd be a good way we could review The Wrestler. Is it Ironclad? Maybe The Rock's new film. So there's plenty of scope for our talent.
Oh yeah. And there are some really good films out there that wrestlers have been in. There are some really awful ones as well.
Yes, there are. I was thinking we could review They Live. definitely with
Oh,
Roddy Piper. That'd be
yes,
fantastic.
I love that film. We could do that,
Me
definitely.
too. Right.
Okay. Right, this week we are looking at science fiction, starting off the year with science fiction. We have two short films and a feature film, as always. So let's get into it. Okay, the first of our short films is from 2018, and it's a film called The 9 Billion Names of God. This is based on a story by Arthur C. Clarke, directed by Dominique Filhol, and the cast is Paul Bandy, Leonard Risdale, Rotim Jackman, Yves Yan, and Lama Guillaume. The synopsis for this says 1957 New York, a Tibetan monk rents an automatic sequence computer. The monk seeks to list all the names of God, and they hire two Westerners to install and program the machine.
Mm.
Yeah. I read this short story many years ago in a collection of short stories that were all about the possible problems of technology. And I loved it. I thought it was a great story.
Mm.
Um, but the first thing I would say, this film it looks great.
It does, for a certain amount of budget, they really made it feel like it was a sort of a blockbuster. You got that
Yeah.
feel when it came in, and you got the music, and you got the sort of the Tibetan sands, and you got the writing coming up. It felt like it was an introduction to a feature film.
It really, I mean, it's got a real big budget look. I don't know what the budget for it was, but it really looks like it, and feels like it's got a lot of money in it. But I mean, I know the story well, and I'm always dubious when you know a story really well from the book to then watch the film. It's sometimes a bit, I'm not sure, but I think this works really well, and they've turned the story into a really good film.
See, I really enjoyed the film, but I haven't read the book, unfortunately. I really wish I had, because everyone in the comments of the video was like, yeah, it's a really faithful interpretation to it.
Yeah.
And everyone was really pleased with how well it had translated from a book to the screen. A lot of people were trying to make out that their one was longer, and they'd used AI to build a script to make it this version better. So some people have even openly admitted that they plagiarized this version and made it longer and used scripts and things like that. And I'm like, it's, as far as I can tell, it's a 20-page short story. Hold me if I'm wrong, because this is just the research I've done.
Yeah.
And it was a 14-minute film. For me, that works out quite nicely.
Absolutely.
Try and make it into an hour and a half or 2-hour film. I think that's really pushing it.
Yeah, I mean,
I think 14 minutes was perfect.
Absolutely. I think it works really well as at the length it is. It tells the story perfectly in just the same way that it is in the story itself, and it just works great. I still love the story, and I really love the film. I mean, Arthur C. Clarke had this thing. Considering that he was the man who kind of basically helped to design sort of communication satellites.
Yeah.
He had this real big thing about technology being our downfall, which I always found really quite funny.
It's like the dangers of technology. I've helped create this, but I know what it's going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that this was made with real Tibetan monks.
Was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, the guy, the Lama was actually a Tibetan monk, and
Really?
the other monks in it are actual real Tibetan monks.
How did they manage to do that?
I have no idea. The only thing I can think
How
of
could
is
they do that?
they must have made a donation to the monastery and said, "Can we come in and film for a day?"
Yeah. And it's amazing that they've actually gone, yes, that's great, we'll do that.
But
Wow,
it's like
that's an achievement. That shows that a lot of the budget probably went on hiring out the monastery.
It's like, I mean, somebody said to me, "Oh, do monks do that sort of thing?" But it is this thing. It's like one of the things about that I've seen on a couple of other things is like they do this thing of they make these intricate patterns with sand.
Yes.
and then as soon as they finished it, they just brush it away
Mm.
and then start making it again because
Yeah.
it's like it's all about nothing is it lasts forever. Nothing is you know
It
um
reminds me of like the festival of color, where people are like with all the different colored sands and all that sort of thing, and making all these intricate patterns. And of course, the festival of light, with all the
yeah,
fireworks. It reminded me of that.
yeah, it's very much it's about, well, hang on, I've got it now in my head. It's about the intransient nature of the things in our lives.
Okay. Ah, so it's all about good and bad, light and dark, things like
Yeah, and it's also about the things that, the thing is that nothing is permanent. There is no permanence in life. Everything comes to an end. So, don't become too attached to things.
that. That's an interesting religious teaching. You wouldn't think that religion would sort of go into that detail about life, because the whole thing, and obviously Christianity is, life everlasting, all that sort of stuff. And the fact that they've got that attitude is quite refreshing, really.
I think they believe in a lot in reincarnation and that sort of thing. So it's like sort of, your your spirit will come back as something else. So,
Mm.
it's not going to, it won't disappear, but it won't be the same. Everything changes.
Ah, yes.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But I mean, the story itself is, as you say, it is about the kind of the way that technology, depending on what we do with it, could be our downfall. And
Mm. And the
um,
fact that they weren't, the storyline, they weren't too sure what to do. They were airing on like, should we mess about with it? What will happen if we blow up the computer? Will
yeah,
the monks turn on us? There was this whole thing of like they were uncertain what would happen if they did intervene.
yeah,
So it's like, oh, okay, that's another moral dilemma. Do you want to upset a load of monks? Like, are they doing this for a higher purpose? And messing about with their higher purpose, is that wrong? And that
yeah,
is exactly what they were doing. But
yes,
then, in a way, the monks were the bad guys because they were rushing the process that should have taken a long time. So if
yeah,
anything, they were going against God's work by rushing the process.
yes. Yeah, it's about technology and how we use it. That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, don't be shocked if in 6 years' time Arnold Schwarzenegger knocks on the door with a Uzi.
We'll get to that. Okay, so that's it. Yeah. Okay. Our second film is from 2025, and this is a film called Alone. Now, I say it's 2025, but it's on the Dust channel on YouTube. And in the past, I have found that some of the films that are on the Dust channel have a date that they were put on there, but the films were actually done before that. They're not from that date. So that's the best I can say, is that it was put on Dust Channel at 2025.
Because I think sometimes with Dust, they procure the film, but sometimes it's already on YouTube on something else.
Yeah,
So yeah, you're right. The dates can be very squiffy. I'm
absolutely.
sure.
So this is a film called Alone. It's a film by Nicholas Acosta, and the cast is Amy Argyle, Nicholas Acosta, and Bill Malt. And the synopsis for this says, can't say it. After a catastrophic disaster at a Mars research space station, a fearless astronaut finds herself adrift in deep space, where she encounters a mysterious entity.
Ooh.
Ooh. Um, I don't know, what do you think?
I quite enjoyed it. The missus did say to me, "That's just a copy of a Doctor Who episode, isn't it?" And I was like,
Yeah, no, I can
uh,
see that.
I was a bit like, I didn't know what to say.
I can
You
see that.
might be right.
I think it's one of those storylines that kind of has been used a number of times for a number of different things.
Yeah.
Um, the thing I liked about this was the fact that they had the the kind of factual information at the beginning about the fact that NASA have said that no astronaut has ever been lost at in space, but nobody has any actual data on that to say whether that's true
Well,
or
yeah. I think there's probably at least a few cats and dogs littered about up there, and
not.
you know,
But
as far as I can tell.
I think the idea is really good.
Mm.
About the accident and the kind of like she's in one part and the other guys in another part.
For me, it was too fast paced. You know, if you're going to do a film about someone being alone, you know, and sort of scared about time, for me, it actually would have benefited from being longer.
Yeah,
Appreciate the silences, you know, watch how it could have evolved further on. Yes, it was a quick horror element to it, and there was the jump scare. But for me, if they'd have spent another 5-10 minutes building up that tension, um, you know, having them talk a little bit, then periods of silence, you know, I think actually it would have worked better.
yeah. And I think
Quietness, you know, a bit of stillness in it, watching what was going on around her, having the computer give out some data about how she's running out of air, things like that, would have made it a bit better for me.
yeah, no, I agree. And the thing is, to be honest, I think that the sets and the effects were good enough, and the acting was definitely good enough for it to have carried that, for it to have been a bit more drawn out, and
Mm,
to build up the atmosphere and build up the kind of tension a bit more. But I think it's a good story, and as you say, I think the jump scare bit at the end was really well done.
mm.
Um,
I just think it needed a bit more time to breathe.
yeah,
You know, we've seen some films in the past where they could have rushed it, and because you know the one where with the online dating thing,
yeah,
that could have been rushed, but because they took their time and they elongated the scare and they made different things happen before the big finale, it worked a lot better. And I think this is what this should have been like.
absolutely,
No harm, like you're saying, the effects carried it, the acting carried it, the overall atmosphere and the music and everything really made it work. So I think an extra 10 minutes on it would have made it very much spookier, and I don't think it would have made it boring. I think it would have added to the jump scare at the end. The payoff would
absolutely,
have been
yeah. I mean, if they, as you say, if they build up the atmosphere more, by the time you get to the jump scare at the end, you're really kind of going, wow, that's,
yeah.
But I mean, the end worked well. But as you say, I think it just needed to have a bit more build up and a bit more space within it to kind of like carry that feeling.
Because there's other films that have done it, you know, where you get that feeling of loneliness,
I mean,
and it does work. Yeah.
if you haven't seen it, we reviewed one last year, which is Spaceman, which is I can't remember his name, Ben Stiller,
All right.
and that is really good because it's just him on a space station, basically, in a spaceship, and it's just kind of he's there on his own,
Mm,
and that's a full-length feature film, and it works really well. Those whole periods of him just doing very little,
mm,
just flicking some switches every now and again and taking some notes or whatever, but just sort of like trying to find things to do.
yeah. I
And
think there's one with Sandra Bullock as well, isn't there, where she's
yeah,
on in space. So there you go. It does show you that you can do that sort of thing
absolutely.
within a certain amount of time. I don't think this needed to be an hour and a half long,
No,
but certainly an extra 10 minutes would have done it a
yeah, I
lot.
mean, they could easily have taken this to 20, 25 minutes and it still work really well.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%.
Okay. Right. Our feature film this week is I think the only thing you can say is it's a classic from the 1980s.
Yes. I was 4 when this came out.
Were you really? 1984, I was, how old was I? 21.
Oh, right. Wow. Yeah.
So 1984, this came out, and this is film The Terminator.
Mm.
Written by James Cameron, Gail Ann Hurd, and William Wisher. Directed by James Cameron. The cast is, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Linda Hamilton, Michael Biehn, Paul Winfield, and Earl Bone. There are others, but they are kind of the main ones, including a quite young and somebody who gets killed fairly early on in the film. I've got a couple of his name here. Oh God, that's really
You're
good.
talking about the bloke that used to be in X-Files as the alien, because he was in it as well. Lance Henriksen's in it.
Lance Henriksen, that's the one. Yeah,
But there's also a cameo. You know, one of the punks at the start.
Yes.
Yeah, the fairly well built one. He was like one of the men in black in X-Files. He was like one of the main bad guys in X-Files for a long time.
The other punk, the one who pulls the knife on him. Oh no, the one who pulls the knife. The one who mouths off to him is Bill Paxton.
Oh right.
Who was in Twisters.
Okay.
So
yeah. So, and the other one was in X-Files, pretty much from season 2 onwards for years.
So there you go. Synopsis for this says a cyborg assassin from the future attempts to find and kill a young woman who is destined to give birth to a warrior that will lead a resistance to save humankind from extinction. I think everyone knows what this is about. It's 42 years old.
Oh, don't.
42 years old, this film.
Don't even go there.
The thing that surprises me, though, I mean, apart from some fairly obvious green screen work and some animatronics that might look a little bit clunky, that sort of thing, even being 42 years old, it still stands up as a brilliant film.
It does. It's one of these films where, you know, you get the dark grittiness of it. You know, I can't remember what the big tanks were called, but the big tanks with the lasers, when it comes along with the treadmill and crushes all the skulls, that's iconic.
Absolutely.
You know, and obviously that battle scene where they're riding around in the car trying to it's an iconic scene from that film. And that's in the first, half hour, 45 minutes. There's lots of iconic scenes in there that you remember. And a lot of people get confused and they're like, wasn't Arnie the good guy in this one? No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
A lot of people get confused between Terminator 1 and 2, and some of the scenes that are in both people get confused with. So you do have to tell people, no, he's a bad guy in that one. That's why he's doing that, you know.
Absolutely. And I mean, the thing is, I mean, this film could almost have been made for Arnold Schwarzenegger to be in, because don't get me wrong, I've seen him in some really good films and I've seen him act brilliantly in some films, but he's not the most dynamic of actors, and he doesn't have the most kind of like he doesn't have a most abundant sort of acting styles. So
that certainly came along later with Jingle All the Way and a few other films, didn't it? And
so
True Lies and stuff
at this
like that.
point, he was kind of like he was made for doing this role, really.
Yeah. Was this before or after Conan?
I think this was after.
Right.
I'm not sure. I can't remember. It's
been
a long time.
Because I know that he didn't have many speaking lines in Conan either. That was mainly muscle and sword, you know.
Yeah. This was after. Yeah, it was 82. Conan the Barbarian.
Okay, yeah. So that makes it. So obviously, for me, in a way, he's taking a step back in this one, isn't he? He's like the big bad, but he's almost taking a step back to obviously the heroes.
Yeah. But I just think it was. it fully deserves its place as a classic sci-fi film.
Definitely. And I love those scenes. You can't beat the scenes where you get the infrared, and that's been copied all the time now, where you've got the 8-bit computer, like, and then like the infrared targets and stuff. Those scenes are, once again, fantastic. I don't know how they did those, probably with like an eye over and stuff, but that to me was adds really a load to the film,
But
seeing through the Terminator's eyes.
I mean, the thing is, it's just this is last year we did I don't know if it was with you, it was you that we did the 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 one about Mars. What's it called?
Are
You know, the Arnold
you talking
Schwarzenegger,
about the one with the weird time travel?
the Arnold Schwarzenegger one about Mars.
Yes, yes, we did Total Recall. Yes, we
Total
did both
Recall. That's it.
versions. We did
But
Total Recall 1 and Total Recall 2,
but
technically.
the effects in this are kind of like basically the same as the effects in that. The animatronics and that kind of thing are
Yeah,
very similar.
yeah.
Um,
Was there some stop motion in there? Because
yeah,
yeah, I thought so. Because at the very start, when you see the Terminator sort of walking around, and at the very end, I definitely thought there was some stop motion there, the way they were moving it.
yeah. The
Um,
whole thing with the Terminator as the skeleton, when you
yes,
see it in the like full thing, that was stop motion.
yeah.
So I mean, but yeah, I mean there are some obvious green screen bits. There are some animatronics that, as I say, nowadays you could look at and go, well, that's a bit clunky. But you got to remember when this was, and I think they still stand up as being really good.
I definitely agree with you. And there's even modern films that aren't quite up to it. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the first Five Nights at Freddy's, but that had
No,
quite a low budget. And the Foxy character, they actually had to film from top down, from top up. They couldn't afford to have the whole of the thing running around, so they did something similar in that, where you saw the character running down the hallway like this, but you very rarely saw the bottom because even the effects for nowadays and a top Blumhouse film, they couldn't afford to show all of
well,
it. So it just shows you.
to be honest, I mean I haven't seen it, but I know I was talking to somebody who went to see it about a week or so ago, and from what I've been told, the new Silent Hill film has got some of the worst green screen in it that they've seen for about 20 years.
Yes, I unfortunately have not. I did want to see it because I'm a lover of car crash cinema. So,
Yeah.
but I have not been able to see it. But I am hoping to watch it when it comes out on
I
pay-per-view.
I
But
do want to see it because I've seen the first two and I thought they were really good, and
yeah,
this one apparently not many people are liking at all.
no.
But
Um,
no, I've got to say I love this
Funny
for.
story about the second Silent Hill film,
Mm,
was that I absolutely adored the first one, but my friend at the time went, "I'm not going to tell you anything about this. I'm just going to tell you a few little bits." And I said, "All right, mate, no worries, no worries. Not going to use his name." And he then went through and talked through the whole film. So I'm like, I don't have any memory of Silent Hill 2, the film, because my friend just talked through the whole thing. So, so I'm hoping that I can watch this one and get a better view.
yeah. No, I've got to say I loved this film when I first saw it. At the time, we were lucky in the fact that a lot of films came out the year after they came out of the cinema. They came out on video, on cassette form at the local. You know, this was when every local off license and corner shop had a little bit of a video shop in it. And I
That's
remember
it. That's
I
it.
probably saw this about 1985 when it first came out on video. That sort
Yeah.
of thing.
It's not like modern media now where everyone celebrates it. It was literally the dusty corner at the back, wasn't it? And you had to.
Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, I loved it then. I watched this and I was really, it was great to rewatch it because I haven't
Yeah.
seen it for quite a while and it was just really good fun to sit and watch it.
Yeah.
And whatever you think about the films that have come after in the series, I just think this stands on its own as being a really good film.
I genuinely think that they should have stopped it with number 1 and 2. Now, deviating slightly, at the end of 2, there's a director's cut and an unseen thing where they literally wrap up the whole franchise and go, right, it's all, and that's the way they should have done it. Is 1 and 2 were perfect. They had no issues with them whatsoever. You had Arnie in peak performance in there, like the first one. Obviously, he plays a great hero in the second.
Yeah.
And then they could wrap it up completely. But I think, personally, like you're saying, the first and the second ones are perfect. But this series of films suffers from sequel and money bloating.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But if you were to watch the first one as a standalone film, absolutely fantastic.
I have long been of the opinion that most franchises really, if they go further than 2 films, it starts getting tired.
Yeah.
Some of them only really need to just have the first film, so But hey ho, here you go. But I know it was great to watch. It's
and like
there's the version on YouTube. There is a version on YouTube which is going to be on the playlist, because every season I put a playlist of all the films that we've reviewed out, or trailers to ones that are feature films that aren't on YouTube. So this will be on there. The version that's on YouTube, I think, has a few small pieces edited out. But it's nothing major that interferes with the storyline, so I don't know why they were edited out.
Probably copyright issues. That's probably how they've managed to get them on there.
I don't know. See, the weird thing was, I remember seeing this on TV many years after I saw it on the video, and they cut out the whole bit where the guy knocking on the door and he says, "Fuck you, arsehole." Why would you cut that out? And this was on at like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
You just think, why have you cut that out?
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
It's bizarre because, like you say, back in the day, they used to edit films weirdly for daytime release. And I swear that they used to put Tim Curry's It on during the day and then cut out bits and things like that.
Maybe.
On ITV.
The thing I never understood is the British TV, they had this habit of, they'll put a film like the Terminator on at 10 o'clock at night. They'll cut out the swearing, but they'll leave people getting blown apart with shotguns.
Yeah.
And that makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all.
It's all right to see people dying, but it's not good to hear people swearing.
No.
And you certainly can't see people having sex.
Oh, no. Well, Jason will go after you if that's the case.
It's just like, what the hell? I don't know.
Yeah. But like you said, the effects really stand up. It's a really good film. I quite liked the Terminator vision. Like you say, the stop motion, the green screen, the effects of the actual melted Terminator were great.
Absolutely.
And, and it was one of these things where unfortunately, due to its age, I think this is where it suffered from, was I was a bit like, is it going to be able to walk up the stairs? I had a Dalek moment where I was like, how's it going to get up the stairs with those knackered old toesies? But, so it was a good film. I really enjoyed it. And it certainly stood the test of time.
Absolutely.
Pacing-wise, I think Terminator 2 is a bit better paced. I did nod off a little bit and I had to wake myself up.
The thing with this is the fact that you're being introduced to a story, an idea and characters all at the same time. And it's a bit there's a lot going on.
There's a lot to digest, in an hour and 45 minutes. Yeah.
But it is a great film. I really enjoyed watching it again. It's been, as I say, it's been a long time since I've seen it. So it was good fun to watch it again. It's nice. I like watching new films or watching films, even old films that I haven't seen before. But it's always nice every now and again to go back to something. It's like, oh, this is a really good film. I always enjoy this.
That's right, yeah. I mean, I personally think when I watched it, I think I watched Terminator 2 first. And I was like, because obviously my age was slightly different. And then I had to go back and watch Terminator 1. And I did enjoy it. And like you say, it's been a long time since I've pushed back into the Terminator sort of universe. The last one I watched properly was the Christian Bale one.
Right.
you know,
Okay.
and I really
I,
enjoyed that. And I
I've
was
got to
really disheartened when they didn't carry on that storyline.
I've got to admit I saw the first two. I started watching the third one and fell asleep,
Yes, yeah,
and I haven't watched any of the others,
yeah. Well,
and
the
I've
one
never
with
got around to watching the whole of the third one.
yeah, well, the one with Christian Bale in is fantastic. I think that's like technically the fourth one.
Right.
And unfortunately, due to him going off doing Batman Begins, I think the studio that made Terminator Salvation flopped as well.
Yeah.
So they sort of then went on, had about a 5, 6 year break, and then did another one. And for me, Salvation is one where that's the peak. If you wanted to carry it on going, that's what they should have done. But they
I
didn't. They scrapped that idea and went back to the other formula, back on Earth, back in the past, and they kept going rewriting. The problem is they're going back and rewriting what they've already done.
yeah.
So you're going to have a Doctor Who effect soon, where all the Terminators are all going to end up meeting up together. And to be honest, that might be the way to do it. Is have
I
three
was
different Arnolds, Robert Patrick, and all these different things all in one film, and then that's the way to end it.
But I must say, I don't know because I haven't watched it, but a couple of people have said to me that the TV series they did was really good.
Yeah, oh, really? Yeah. See, I never watched these.
I've never watched it, but I don't know. I know, I have no idea. I mean, maybe other people out there can tell us and let us know what if they think the TV series was any good, um, and what they think about the franchise on as a whole.
Mm.
Okay, well, there you go. Thank you very much.
You, buddy.
So we had, hang on, where are we? 9 Billion Names of God, which we both liked. Alone, which we both liked but thought could have been longer, and the Terminator, which is just an out and out classic and we
Iconic,
can see.
iconic. Yeah.
Now, before we go, I did make a thing online on Facebook saying about the fact that I would give some flesh out a thing that I put comment about some trivia about a film that I watched.
Mm.
This isn't sci-fi or horror related as such, but it's an interesting piece of film trivia that I was blown away by.
Mm.
Okay, I watched a film called The First Deadly Sin from 1981 or 1980, somewhere in there. This was the last proper feature film that Frank Sinatra ever made. After this, he did some TV appearances. He appeared in a few films as himself, and he made a TV film as a detective. But this was the last studio feature film that he ever made. In this film, and the part of this trivia you will know about, in this film, there is a cameo appearance as Frank Sinatra is going, he's following a suspect and he ducks into a restaurant so that the guy doesn't see him, goes through the restaurant and out another door. And as he goes out, somebody else comes through the door with their cap pulled down over their face, but you can see the whole side of his face. And he walked in, that sort of thing, and goes in, and that's it, right? That person, that was the first ever film appearance by Bruce Willis.
Oh, wow.
And as you well know,
Yeah.
Die Hard was originally bought by a film company to be made as a vehicle to star Frank Sinatra.
Yes, indeed.
So that's a little circular piece of film trivia.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah.
I was totally blown away by that. I thought, that's incredible. His first ever film appearance was in his last ever film appearance.
Yeah.
And this one film connects the two of them as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's really cool. I love that.
It was kind of blew my mind a bit.
Yeah. That's a really interesting bit of trivia. Yeah.
I was sitting there for ages after I read it. I thought, that's really, bloody hell, and I wanted to tell everyone.
Yeah. I do wonder if Bruce Willis and Frank Sinatra were friends back in the day. We're going to have to look this up if they.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a possibility that they may have met on the set of that film and stayed in touch or whatever. I don't know. But it is, as he comes in through the door, he's got a flat cap pulled down low, but you can
Yeah.
see the whole side of his face, and if you know it's him, you can see it's him.
Ah, interesting bit of trivia there. Awesome.
Absolutely. It's brilliant. I loved it. I loved it. Okay. Thank you very much, Badger, for being on the show and
Thank you once again. Yeah.
agreeing to be part of this for more permanently.
Can't wait, mate. Can't wait. It'll be
Next
great.
week we will be reviewing horror,
Ooh.
and we have I'm trying to work out. I can't remember. My brain is terrible at the moment. We have uh, it's all new stuff, all brand new stuff. One of the short films is new and it's come from somebody that I've been in touch with online about other things. But, you know, it's one of their older short films. Uh, the second one is one I've been asked to review. Although it's a 2-year-old film, it's kind of like, or no, sorry, it's this year's film, but it's a one that they've asked me to review that's on YouTube. And the other one is a brand new feature film, which is not actually out anywhere at the moment.
So we're going to have an exclusive review. That's great.
Absolutely exclusive reviews of short films and feature films here on the channel. So thank you to everybody for watching. Please like, subscribe, and tell everybody about it. And
don't forget the new thing, hype it up.
I don't understand how that works.
Hype it up.
I've got no idea how that works. I watch other people's videos and I thought, how do you do hype? I don't get that.
It's you slide across on the comments. You slide across, and it gives you a thing.
Okay, fair
and
enough.
then you get like it's basically they've brought back the old star rating from donkeys years ago, and they've incorporated it in. So it's like, you know, you get points. Points mean prizes.
Cool.
So
brilliant.
So it's like for the way I've been explained it is that you got the normal YouTube algorithm, yeah, which sits here, and then anything else that gets hyped enough sort of sits here. So it's like, you know, if you want to get through the middle ground hell, you know, you sort of hype it up and it goes to like the main bit. And for me, I know that people do watch, like I've seen the differences, even if it's just an extra 10, 15 views. If someone hypes something, it does go into another set of people, you know. So it is worth it. Please hype the show, like, share, tell your mum, your dad.
Yep.
Get your cat to watch it on loop.
And the other thing is, you know, if you're just at home and you're just wandering around, you could always just put it on and, you know, put it on an episode. It'll just carry on playing the episodes to itself, and you don't even have to be in the room. You can go around the house doing the housework and doing the hoovering and just leave it playing.
And please do comment and tell us all the different things.
Absolutely.
If you want to hit us with some trivia as well about Frank Sinatra, Bruce Willis, the Terminator, anything, hit us up and comment and tell us some stuff.
And if anyone has any suggestions for films that you'd like us to review, short films or feature films, horror, sci-fi, you know, as long as we can see them without having to pay money, because I refuse to pay money to review films. And you know, we'll review anything you want us to. So if there's an awful film you've seen that you want us to have a look at and go, you'll never believe how bad this is, we're happy to do that. But after the Christmas film, we can't watch much worse.
That has 5 different versions of it, apparently.
And just to let you know, everybody out there, this weekend on Saturday there will be an extra episode in which I am interviewing the wonderful UK scream princess Danny Thompson, and on the Sunday there will be the interview I have done with Graham Humphreys. So he makes film posters and he does them bloody well. So,
and you know, not being funny, if you get a chance, if he's got some Army of the Evil Dead posters, get him to sign them for us, for the love of goodness, because that VHS, you know, artwork is one of the most iconic ever.
You know, the one I always remember that is one of his, and I didn't know at the time it was, but I always remember it from when I used to go to the video stores in the 80s. Was he did the video cover for the Return of the Living Dead?
Wow, nice.
And I always remember that because it's one of those covers that as soon as you see it, you go, "Oh, I want to watch that."
Yeah, yeah. I think that's what's missing from modern physical media is how visceral the covers used to be.
Well, that's why a lot of the box sets and things that are coming out now, they're giving away fold out posters from the original artwork from the films and that sort of thing, you know. So I think people want it. So I don't know why they don't keep producing it.
Yeah, honestly, that's the whole reason why I love physical media. Is you go, wow, this is cool, and I get why people like the metal cases. But I used to get really nice cases, even when they were the plastic ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Even my League of Extraordinary Gentlemen DVD had lots of really cool shininess to it. You know, you don't necessarily need a metal case, but if that's the one way to get art into physical media, then here we go.
Absolutely. And I would say to anybody, if anybody is interested in collecting film posters and artwork to do with horror and sci-fi and other cult films, at the Romford Horror Film Festival, there is always a guy there selling film posters, and there is always a guy selling original artwork that he does for kind of like graphic novels and that kind of thing. So you'll find some good stuff there if you want to go. Okay, well, thank you very much to everyone. Thank you, Badger. Thank you to everybody for listening and watching and all that kind of thing. And we will see you again next time. Thank you all. Bye.
Bye.
The Sciforror Film Podcast.